Hello everyone, it's Scott and welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Skyblock Expert Mode. Yep, I'm up by the mob grinder and it's still doing its job, killing all the mobs inside. So I think what I want to do at some point is figure out how to crack this open or maybe shut down the grinder for a little while so I can grab myself a Enderman, or I was thinking maybe possibly a slime. And what I was going to do was then uh, set up the auto spawner this session while I wait for the material to work its way down through the nuclear reactor. So at this point, up to 822 buckets of essence, and so that stuff is basically equivalent to player experience. You can use it to enchant items, run an automatic anvil, and do all sorts of other stuff in MFR. So I did a little bit of upgrading here. You can see I added a bit more glass. I moved some machines around, and more importantly, I upgraded the chest over here to be its own little mini storage drawer area. So that way I can store a lot more stacks of stuff than I was before. This method is basically I can store, I put in emerald upgrades 13 times stacks on everything. So whatever, it's 13 times 4. So yeah, a lot, 52. So the grinding itself is working quite well. The lava still not ticking. It comes and goes. And the smelteries themselves have been working out pretty well, though I'm thinking of pausing it to get some iron build up so I can make some iron ore. And so you can see here that it's been generating a lot more blocks for me, and so that's been working out pretty good. I've also worked on moving the alloy smelter down here and configuring it. So I've added a lot more formulas to this, including bronze and rubber and all the electrum and invar and all that other nonsense. So I upgraded the innervation dynamos here to have an automatic feed of blocks of redstone. At one point I was up to 3,000 redstone, and so everything is holding steady at this point with my capacitor banks and so on and so forth. So let's go check in on the nuclear reactors. Alright, and this is done. Quad fuel depleted uranium. And that's the first one of all these. So it looks like the damage ticker has to tick up to 10,000. And then so it looks like one more will be done probably in another minute and a half or so. And let's convert back to my handling material. Alright, so my boots are almost done. And so what I'd like to do is set up a extraction. If I could grab some servos and some item ducts. And so what I'd like to do is place the item duct here. Let's route it across. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit this with the wrench to disable the other connection so that things don't get reinserted. I'm going to use the servo and place it here on top, and I'm also going to place this here. Now these are turned off where they need a redstone by default. So the first thing I'm going to do is load in the quad fuel with a whitelist, and in theory, then as soon as the next guy converts, it will be observed to need to get sucked out. So let's set this up also. So whitelist a quad fuel depleted uranium, and then we can turn this on so it's ignored. And so, next time I have one of these quad fuels, let's place it in. What should happen is it got sucked out just like that and dumped. Oh crap. What happened? What happened? What happened? Quad fuel with a whitelist should have... What the heck? Why? Alright, well that's not going to work. Holy moly. Off. Yeah. Okay, that's not quite what I expected. That should not have sucked out the other items. Shoot. Okay, so place these back in here. That makes absolutely no sense. This is supposed to honor the whitelist of the material and not suck anything out, so that's fine. Okay. Oh, what the heck? Alright, well everything's back. Let's turn the machines back on, the nuclear reactors back on, so now they're outputting the right amount again. These are ticking. What the heck? That's working too. See, ignored. Oh, I see. So the lever, okay, the lever was giving a redstone pulse to the block, which was probably carrying forward here. So even though this was set to high, it was still extracting. Holy moly. Okay, so if I plug that in here, now it will extract correctly, and that'll be the only thing that extracts. Oh, okay. Alright, well at least I was here to catch it. So at this point, it will auto-extract all the rest of the rod, so let me check back when that's done. Okay, so I've been doing some calculations on what I'm going to need. So each one of the quad uranium is going to, once it turns into a depleted uranium rod, I'm going to need 7 of the quad uranium in order to generate enough plutonium pellets in order to produce 1 MOX fuel. So if we take a look at the crafting path, so the MOX nuclear fuel creates a fuel rod using the cannon machine in a 1-to-1. The nuclear fuel is going to require 3 large plutonium, each of which is going to require 9 tiny plutoniums, which, burning down 1 depleted quad fuel rod, is only going to produce 4. So I'm going to need quite a number of these to move forward. And the way I figured, in order to make the 2 alloy that I need for the Certus quartz wrench, I'm going to need 18 irradiated plates. Each plate is going to require 4 iridium ore. Each ore comes from 1 MOX fuel rod, or 1 MOX fuel and 1 pellet. So if we start back at the Certus quartz wrench, here in the iridium reinforced plate, the iridium ore again takes the nuclear fuel and the pellets of RTG fuel. The pellets are going to require 3 plutonium each, and the nuclear fuel is going to require 3 plutonium each. So that's how I get the 6 plutonium. So altogether, I'm going to need 432 plutonium, large plutonium, or 36 cycles of the quad MOX cells. Now, fortunately, the quad MOX takes half the time of the quad uranium rods. So instead of 2 hours and 40 minutes, it should be 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I've already set this up so I've burned down all 8 of the original quad uranium rods. So I threw the single rods in again just to kind of burn down. I'll fix that shortly, but my real goal is now to throw these guys into the centrifuge. So let's head down and take a look at that. So the thermal centrifuge should take all 8 of these, and it's going to take it's going to need to burn up to 4,000 heat units before the reaction starts again. And fortunately, I've been burning down almost all of my crushed uranium ore that I had from the first run. And here's 3 more fuel rods for the future. I have tiny piles of uranium that can create more uranium rods, but I think at this point I'm ready just to focus entirely on the MOX fuel rods. MOX MOX. So at this point I would need to. It's interesting that it creates bedrockium, but I don't know what you could really do with it. The bedrockium drum at 65 million is a pretty good storage device. What else? Oh, draconic evolution. Okay, so you need 1 of each of the 5 different max metals. I'll have to take a look at that about 40 episodes from now. Okay, back to the MOX fuel. So with this, if we take a look at the fuel rods can be mixed in a quad fashion with iron plate and copper, just like the uranium. And so they have the same heating properties, the same heat dissipation, the hull heating. So let's take a look here. So this is only up to 2,000 heat units while I've been gabbing. So let's let this burn up and I'll cut right back. Okay, that should be all the heat we need. And then the recipe is going to burn down and basically disassemble the quad fuel rod into the pieces. So let's take a quick look as soon as this is finished. It doesn't look like it's going to take that long. So now 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Okay, and that should be the tiny piles of uranium that I need. So let's wait for all of the other 7 quad fuel to burn down. And there we go. 32 of the tiny piles of plutonium. So let's head over here and, well, MOX nuclear fuel. Let's set up the formula. Yeah, okay. So tiny piles of plutonium. So there's our 3. Achieve and get. What doesn't kill you can only make you stronger. Sure. MOX nuclear fuel. Awesome. Whoops. What was that? That is a trophy. IC2 wrench trophy. Okay, cool. I'll take one of those. So let's put the MOX fuel in the canning machine. And out should pop 1 level 1 fuel rod. So at this point, I don't have enough uranium, of course, to do anything else. So I'm going to throw this in the reactor. So an hour and 20 minutes from now, I should end up with a depleted MOX rod, which will then give me 3 large plutonium and 1 tiny pile. And I should be able to rinse and repeat here to generate more plutonium. And yeah, so let me just create a couple more rods and get the reaction working again. Well, it took a while, but the auto spawner finally worked. Alright, so I definitely have a power delivery problem over here to the spawner. So um, the RF is being shared among all the devices, and I think that the base connector can only power 1,000 to start. So what I'm going to do here is set up some fans and a grinder system to basically pulverize the rest of these mobs. I'm not going to go in and try to kill these because they're going to take too much health off of me since I'm wearing this rubber armor. So let me take care of that, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, and I ended up reconfiguring the auto spawner because it turns out that the grinder will not give items or mob essence for anything larger than the smallest of the slimes, because they do not want the exploit where you end up generating more mob essence than what you put into it through the spawner and grinder combination. So I think what I remember was having some kind of spike involved, because the spike will break the large slimes down to smaller slimes, and at some point you need the grinder to kick in for the very last phase. So I was reading how some people are using like a water trap, so that's where you have like that one block of flowing water that kind of pushes the mob under it, and the mob suffocates and breaks. So that could be a possibility, but at this point I think I have enough slimes here to satisfy what I need. So let's grab these out of the system. So what I ended up doing, I forget if I demoed this, so I've whitelisted by turning off a bunch of, ignoring the MBT, which is the special enchantment thing, and turning off the metadata, which is the damage. And so these chests are just collecting all of the armor and equipment, and the drawers system here is collecting all of the stackable inventory. So I think this is working out pretty good. So let's go back over here. I ended up reconfiguring the nuclear reactor here. So I got a third nuclear reactor, and I upgraded this to the 7 pattern. So here you can see that there's one in the corner, as well as 4 extra overclocked heat vents, as well as an extra heat exchanger. And so the heat exchanger, unfortunately, I think will take damage over time. You can see here that it's slowly ticking up and down. I'm not sure if it'll eventually die, or if this is the tool says this is a stable configuration, but I really don't know. So I've not upgraded this one yet, and I've configured this to have all the this one has another MOX fuel cell, and so this is again a waiting game, a tremendously long waiting game, because each one of these quad fuel cells is going to produce a tiny bit of plutonium. So I just need so much plutonium, and the MOX cells have half the duration till they become mature, but they still only produce one extra piece of plutonium. So one tiny pile. So I still need to go through a lot of cycles before I can get the extra RTG pellets to run through the assembly table. But I think one thing I can work on is the Galgadorian metal. So I ended up making formulas for almost everything here in the stack up to Enhanced Galgadorian metal. So this is going to need a large lump, which is just a simple combination of small lumps, which is glowstone, a diamond of which I have a lot. I have Galgador and stabilized metal. The stabilized metal I already have formulas for because it's just this mesh and refined hardener. The Galgador is magma cream, which I'm able to produce with my slime ball and a blaze powder. And the fermented spider eye, thanks to a mushroom farm that I've developed and my spiders, I should be okay in that regard. So to make, I need 2 enhanced metals, which means I need 2 lumps of large lumps of Galgador, which means I need 18 of these small lumps, and each one of these combination makes 2, so I need 9 of these. So actually, yeah, so lump of Galgador, let's order up 18. I'm missing 40 extra pink slime balls. Well, so let's craft what I can. At this point, I'm just going to have to wait for the mob farm to basically feed me more slime. So, yep. So this is working pretty good. As we can see, it's generating Eyes of Ender. The gas tiers. I ended up turning off this soul sand machine. It was just it was way too productive. So again, that's mycelium with a diagonal from an oak barrel, which is being fed water, which will turn into witch water. And then I'm forcing everything through a sifter. And I moved all of the fortune upgrades over here. So now I have 14 fortune upgrades on my gravel machine, which is then working through everything. Whoops. Working through everything over here with finally upgraded to diamond hammers. Yep, so, whoops, what's going on there? Up too much of an energy draw. It's not breaking these, and if it's not breaking that, that means they're backing up here. Phew, okay, that's pretty crazy. So, still have a little bit of a backlog here. I'll have to check those formulas later. And yeah, so let's check here on the Galgador, lump of Galgador. Okay, so I can form that into one large lump. And the large lump will then just get burned down in any kind of furnace. Bing. Okay. Halfway there. Alright, so I think with that, I'm going to call this an episode. So, again, I'm going to have a very long wait for the nuclear reactor to cycle. And so while I'm doing that, it's going to be a much shorter wait to get the additional slimes that I need. So if you could, please leave a comment or a like and let me know how I'm doing, and I will see you next time. Feed the Beast Infinity Evolve Skyblock Expert Mode. Bye!